I just love pissing people off, don't I? Goddamn right I do. Hopefully it makes some of you fucking pussies think for once. Our predators work together. What did the bullies do to you in high school? Was it just one person? Were you really lucky enough to have just one bully? Were you really lucky enough that when you were walking home from school, that when you were bullied or pushed or shoved, were you lucky enough for it to be just one person who did it? Were you lucky enough that it didn't happen nearly on a daily fucking basis? Didn't happen nearly on a daily basis to me, but it definitely happened at least on a bi-weekly basis. Some of you never been in a fight. It's amazing. It's nice to be so sheltered. Now, the NHL is trying to force homosexuality onto its players. I gotta tell you, I don't support the KKK. If my job says that I have to wear a KKK jersey in support of the KKK, well, I'm not part of the KKK. The KKK doesn't do shit for me. The KKK doesn't fight for my rights. The KKK doesn't give a fuck about my rights. Matter of fact, with my Jewish ancestry, the KKK doesn't want me to have rights. Just like BLM doesn't want me to have rights. Because as far as BLM is concerned, I'm with the KKK. As far as the KKK is concerned, the Jews and the blacks are together in this. The Jews and the blacks are conspiring against whites. True Aryans, true white people. I am not a true white people. Look at me. Of course, there's also the supporting the LGBT community, wearing pink. What's my favorite color? Not that anybody can guess this. As far as the definition of LGBT, I am part of the LGBT community because I'm not fucking interested. Not fucking interested. I'm an NFI, not an NFL, not an NHL. I'm a not fucking interested. I'm not interested in your butthole. I'm not interested in your pee hole. I'm not interested in your vajayjay. I'm not into your, as my dad would call them, a tallywhacker or watu. I don't fucking care. Here's the problem that I have with homosexuals. It's the same problem that I have with heterosexuals. I don't want to hear about your fucking sex life. Now, I know a lot of men who do not support homosexuality for religious reasons. That's fine. They shouldn't be allowed on a jury. Separation of church and state. They've already got a bias because of their religion. But then we've got people who, well, like Natalie and Alicia Bollinger and their mother. A lot of other lesbians that I know, or bisexuals. Yeah, according to their religion, it's wrong. According to their religion. Of course, we get to see how many of these junkies, like my older brother Eric Christopher Schwartz, well, yeah, I've always known he's a little into dudes. Guess what? I've always been fine with that. I'm sorry, I don't get to hang out today. Still breathing. So, there's a lot of people who don't want to support certain things. I don't think that they should have to support those things. I don't think it should be mandatory. I don't believe that you should be forced to pay your taxes in certain directions. For example, you guys pay your taxes so that children with cancer can, of course, get life-saving cancer treatment. But we're such a corrupt and bass-backwards nation that we're just now starting to pass laws. Oregon is the first state passing a cluster law as far as cancers go and other illnesses. If you've got a lot of people in an area that are getting certain types of melanomas, well, it's probably because of something in the immediate area. It's probably environmental. So Oregon is now passing a law, or trying to, that will cover that, so that if you are, but also at the cost of cancer treatment, they say that'll break the bank. Well, we paid for this stuff. We paid for this. We paid for the research. The taxpayers. And you know what? Whether you earn $7 an hour or $700 an hour, if you work a 40-hour work week, you've still earned 40 hours worth of work. You ought to be able to pay that 40 hours of work. You know, that rich guy who's getting paid money to shuffle the money in the books, he's getting paid a lot of money to be doing that mathematics crap. But also, the wear and tear on his body is not there. The wear and tear on your body doing manual labor, the stuff that he's doing the books on is things like your payroll. He gets paid more than you for doing your payroll. He's a numbers guy. When he hits his 60s or 70s, he's going to be decent condition. You are going to be on a regime of Tylenol, Advil, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, and overwhelmed. I need to take a shower. I've got some work that I was planning on getting done, but severe anxiety and all that. See if I can get the computer up and running. Not connected. Connections are good. Alright, you got that going. Now, I don't care about sports. You know, with the title of this video, you might think I actually care about sports. No, I don't. I care about human rights and human lives. I do believe that homosexuals are indeed people. I believe that gay people are people. I think that straight people are people. I think men are people, women are people. I think black people are people, actually. You might be surprised to know that. I think white people are people. You might be surprised to know that. Now, through a lot of my life, there's certain things that are pretty much universal.
Morning.
Good morning. People's motivations are always the same. Well, neurotypicals anyway. We could go over Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The very bottom is food, water, and shelter. Matter of fact, in just a few minutes when this is connected, I'll probably pull up that chart for you. Now, there's one guy who decided that he's not going to wear a jersey in support of LGBT. Boy, have things changed since Colin Kaepernick, haven't they? Colin Kaepernick should this, Colin Kaepernick should that. You get to see popular opinion people. That's right, like Miss Jerry and her son Tyler. You know, at the time that they tried to jump on the bandwagon to hate on Colin Kaepernick, it was a different political field, wasn't it? What did we have there? America showing its bias. Tim Tebow praise publicly. This is against God's covenant with his people, according to that man's very own book. You know what a covenant is, right? Not to be confused with a witch's coven. A covenant is a set of rules and agreements. You know, like, I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but the Jewish people, what's kosher used to be halal. And then, as more sects came along, sects, there became more and more rules that came along with it. As you learn more things, you add to it. You have a ham sandwich sitting on your counter. You just made it, you eat it, you're good. You make a ham sandwich, you set it on your counter for 6 hours, you eat it, you might have a bad day. First time somebody that you know who eats sandwiches every day and eats them right away, you realize that he ate a sandwich with ham and lettuce together, and he got sick and died, or just got sick and sat on the toilet for 3 days. You might change the rules a little bit. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't put meat with veggies for that long. Well, the reality is just leaving the meat out, period, is a bad idea. Now, what's this got to do with the NHL? And what's this got to do with me? And what's it got to do with you? Well, I didn't think that people should be forced to take a knee. Now, a lot of times, these man-hating sites, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, and they have free reign. If one of those women doesn't like what you have to say, she can get on there and say, all right, hey, you 50 women, let's all hit this guy's stuff up and make his life hell. And nobody's going to care. Nobody is going to care. Most of the stuff that I have to say about women came directly from women. That's right. Of course, there's a big difference between those women and I. I say it nicer. I say it a lot nicer. Jamie Curtis has no respect for women. Not even her best female friend overwhelmeth. If everybody has to support something, I'm automatically against that something, no matter what it is. Was that true? No, I support peace. Absolutely. I support defending yourself. Whether you have the legal right to defend yourself or not, you should probably do so. If someone is trying to kill you and defending yourself is against the law in your state, well, it's probably a good idea to not end up dead, unless you want that. People are crazy. See, this is the problem that I have, is that we've got people who want to force horrible things on all of us. Horrible things. I don't think that everybody in America should be forced to do this crap. I don't think that the NHL or any team should have to support LGBT. The LGBT community is not marginalized. They're not marginalized. They stopped being marginalized almost a decade ago. In some places, with hard work from people like me, it stopped being marginalized. There's a lot of people who will support you. There's a lot of women out there who have homosexual hating husbands who are going to manipulate their husbands into not messing with you. That's a good thing for you. A lot of these man-haties, well, they don't hate all men. It's okay to be a man if you're a homosexual, apparently. Meanwhile, I've had women tell me that a lesbian relationship is far more violent than a homosexual relationship because you're hitting somebody who's allowed to hit you back. Oh, that's a different story, isn't it? You want equality? Equality means when you punch him in the face, he gets to punch you in the face. Oh, but he's stronger. Yeah, you should have thought about that. Are you sure he's stronger? I'm 100% certain that Desiree, even as old as she is, could hit me harder than I could hit her. Meanwhile, she's violent. She took a knee for God. What was he doing? Well, it's called vanity. Using the Lord's name in vain. Using it for attention. For, well, to be perfectly honest, it's negative attention. And it's blasphemous. It's self-serving. Do I believe that because Tim Tebow prayed that everyone should be forced to pray? Christianity is popular, so we should all be forced to be Christians and wear Christian-friendly jerseys. There's a good idea. We could have the NHL support the LGBT community. Oh, they say pride, but it's not pride. It's jargon. It's keeping up with the times. We got companies that are run by people who would literally string up every single Christian or every single homosexual in the country if they could. Who are putting little pink logos all over their stuff now. Typing stuff in their handbooks about how to be LGBT friendly. Doing the them they thing. And why is it that they're doing this? Completely insane stuff. Make sure they don't piss people off because the current political climate says you're supposed to be inclusive of the LGBT. Just not if they're homeless. The LGBT community apparently does not care about homeless LGBT members. There's no homeless pride, is there? No, not really. So maybe we should force all basketball players. Maybe we should force all them to wear jerseys too, in support of something. when you guys want to say Black Lives Matter, you're being racist. 100% racist. There is nothing not racist about that. I like the name. I liked what it was supposed to be for. I also saw the reality of it. It was pathetic. I'm so tired. Oh, let's see if it connects to Wi-Fi finally. So what should we make the NFL players wear? What special cause should we force on them? Tell you what. We'll force the NHL to wear the LGBT stuff because that's what's popular. And then we'll force the NFL to wear Christian Pride jerseys. And then we can force the NBA to wear White Pride jerseys. And then we could force, I don't know, who should we force? We should probably force the National Baseball League, right? Actually, there's the National Football League and then the American Football League, right? Two separate ones, and the Super Bowls between both of them. We could make one of them wear the LGBT Pride jerseys. We'll have another one wear the Black Pride jerseys. We'll have another one wear the White Pride jerseys. And then we'll have one for Women's Pride, and we'll have one for Men's Pride. And then since we're having one for Christian Pride, we got to find another sport that we can give that to so that we can have Men's Pride, of course. So there's a WNBA. They could be the Men's Pride. We could force the women in the NBA to wear Men's Pride jerseys. That would be a great idea, wouldn't it? No, that wouldn't go over well. It's only okay to be sexist one way. It's only okay to be racist one way. It's okay to be racist against white people. It's okay to be sexist against men. Everything else is not socially tolerated. Also, standing up to racist black people is not okay. Standing up to sexist women is not okay. The us women gotta stick together thing has destroyed the entire country. It has destroyed the country. You can't even go to the gym unless you poke your eyes out first. Because if you glance in the direction of something female, and I have to say something female because there are certain females who go there and set up their camera and then throw a fucking tantrum and a tissy fit over literally nothing. Oh, you were traumatized men in the United States who are alive today. Revenge is not insignificant. Now, the other thing is, when it comes to human rights, that means whether they're black, white, yellow, orange, red, blue, purple, whether they're male or female or hermaphrodite, whether they're Christian or Jew or Muslim or you, we're all people. And regardless of your political opinion, this is what America has become today. If a woman That's right. If a woman feels insulted, we should just cut our throats according to our society. There's a difference between working together to stop predators and working together to victimize a man and pretend he's a predator because he stood up to you. I will absolutely defend women. I will absolutely defend men. I will absolutely defend white people and black people. It's not over their gender, it's not over their skin color. It's because they're human beings. There are a lot of human beings that I think are a waste of time and a waste of space, but it is not my place to end their lives. You're all complete and total trash. All of you. I'm not speaking specifically to men or to women. I'm saying all of you. Every one of you on planet Earth, you're all trash. If you, on the bottom, getting kicked, weren't so selfish, you'd work together with the other people getting kicked instead of saying, oh, I can't, I might get kicked. You're going to get kicked anyway, stupid. And if you don't do something now, they're going to kick your kids too, and your grandkids. Look how hard you guys fought for pot. How hard did you guys fight from the 1960s forward in your pro-marijuana campaign? I know it didn't happen until I got involved. Going door to door, getting signatures. I actually didn't collect the signatures. I showed up at the door, knocked on the door, gave the sales pitch, and if they wanted to sign the piece of paper, the guy with the piece of paper was at the end of the street with a pen. There was also a guy who was going around doing an electronic thing. I don't think they counted his, but he got like 4,000 signatures just by himself. It's got nothing to do with any of this, does it? Well, it really does. You know, allowing somebody their life should be okay. Christians judging everyone, hating everyone, accusing everybody of persecuting them, persecuting everybody, and then saying that we should force Jesus into all of the churches. You like how I said that? No, they want Jesus in all the schools. You guys already know there's no Jesus in church. Well, except for those of you who are schizophrenic and hear voices. Those of you are... You're scary. But I've had a lot of friends of mine that were schizophrenic over the years. It's pretty easy to defuse the situation. Now, I often, when I'm speaking about this stuff, I'll say deal with it. Deal with it. See, that's the term that most people use. It's off-putting and it's kind of dismissive. What I'm going to say is not popular. I'm fine with the KKK believing whatever they want, as long as they're not hurting people. Each individual member of the KKK has his own decisions that he can make himself or herself. I don't think it's all right to force people to join the KKK. I don't think it's all right to force people to support the KKK either. As far as equality goes, I want you to take a look at my situation. Take a look at what I've had to go through. Take a look at the fact that people just wouldn't shut up. Most of my predators were in fact women. Or, of course, like the case with Jennifer Freina Bollinger, there was a lot of her predator friends and their bogus and fake accounts like Adam Klein. See, that's the difference between me and these predators. I didn't have to make fake accounts and hide my name. I didn't have to hide my words the way that they did, or hide their identities. See, they did this for over a year before Natalie Bollinger was killed. All because Natalie and Alicia and Maddie don't think that, well, they don't think that they as females should have consequences. And they don't. You just assume the man's to blame and you harm him and harm him and harm him. If Natalie Bollinger and her friends and family had left me alone, this never would have become an issue. I don't care how fucking embarrassed you are. You don't go saying that shit about people. Those of you who want to be ice wipes to me because I'm hypocritical. There's a reason I'm hypocritical. It's called being fair and equal. I used to believe that if I was good to everybody, that people would be good to me. But they're not. They're nice, some of them, and some of them are racist rednecks. Do I want a racist redneck as a neighbor? No, I don't. So if a racist redneck decides that he don't want a man living next door to him who looks like a bald Jew, I'm fine with that. I don't want to live near him. Selective segregation, that's your choice. You shouldn't be forced to go sit at a table full of black kids. I can tell you as a white kid who grew up in the system that is probably a bad idea, especially on her first day. It might be a very bad idea, especially on your first day. Depends on where you're at. Forcing people to believe something or to do something. You get to see how it went from Colin Kaepernick is some horrible evil monster that Tyler Frericks wants a soldier to punch in the throat, to all of a sudden everybody's got to have the name of a dead black person on their friggin' jersey. My God, that wasn't creepy. See, that's the thing though. How many racist rednecks watch football? How many racist BLM members watch football? How many racist Hispanic folks watch football? Well, we're in the United States. A lot of people watch football. At least the entertainment of football is universal among idiots.
How's it going, Mike?
I gotta say idiots though, because, well, like I said with Colin Kaepernick, I don't think of him as a football player.
So they'll have all that gluten-free stuff for you, huh?
I think of him as a freedom fighter. Someone calling himself Mean Ben typed hey. So, while I do support when you ask if someone is being forced, I don't think you quite understand what pressure is like here.
All right, that's a good idea.
Two of them get three and you get one.
Is that how it goes?
No, he dominates. He gets two. I get two. That's right. He gets two. Yeah.
She might want
Yes,
three.
it's forced. No, they're not forcing you to be a homosexual to be a part of the NHL.
Yeah, it is.
And they're not forcing you to support the LGBT community. But they're really pushing and pressuring one guy heavy because he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have to. I don't think he should be forced to. If everybody takes the knee with Tim Tebow, Tim Tebow is still a punk. If every football player in the NFL, except for one, takes a knee, I've read the Bible. The only one who's not being self-serving is the one who remains standing. And it's not because he's standing against everybody else who's got their knee down. It's not that he hates them or wants them hurt. It's that he read the book.
My friend used to be gluten-free.
You guys ever read La Biblioteca?
Gluten-free cake. It was.
No. I don't know what that is even. But I've read the whole Bible. You like the way I said that? I speak up about how wrong things are.
You get good with the other stuff? It's like my brother. Oh, really?
Mean Ben types, I watched a video of a woman in TikTok, the mob blackmailing her because she said to a trans to leave kids alone. Well, that depends on the trans. If you live in New Mexico and you know a 350-pound woman named Rain, Rain is not trans. Rain does identify as a female, but Rain has male anatomy and male urges, is very large, and forced those male urges on his little sister. So I can understand the fear. As a victim of rape and molestation as a kid, and of molestation as an adult, sexual assault as an adult, I can honestly tell you that most of my gay friends find me revolting. Most of my gay friends don't find me attractive at all. Some of my gay friends insisted that they were going to make me gay. One of them had a 5-year plan, and then the 5 years didn't work. The 10-year plan didn't work either. I never converted over to homosexualism because it's not ew for you, but it's gross for me. There are certain smells that are gross to me. There are certain textures that are gross to me. Anything the consistency of snot or mucus is gross to me. I don't want somebody licking a napkin and touching my face with it. That's gross. I personally support your right to be gay. I personally support it. If one of y'all comes up with a pink dress, I got pink ribbons, you seen them. I will braid up my beard all nice and pretty into a bunch of nice, cute little braids. I might even curl them up and wear a dress and absolutely get a picture taken in it. I don't care. It's just clothes. I'm not wearing high heel shoes though. Nothing more attractive than sensible shoes, because sensible shoes denotes there's possibly a brain in there somewhere.
So they have all that glue. I don't know if they had that glue. I never bothered that.
Let's see. Mean Ben type. Someone called Jeffrey March is asking kids to talk to him without their parents knowing, so she said that. They sent her kids to school and every detail about her life. I don't care about you, why should I support? Do what you want, but I don't care. And see, that's the thing, is that I'm just as insulted by heterosexuals who want to shove this stuff in my face as I am by a homosexual. I don't have to support you. I do support you. I support your rights as a person. I don't support your right to smack people in the face with your Bible. I'm not going to support your right to force people to engage in sexual activities. No matter who you are, I'm not going to support that. There is no argument that you can possibly make whereby I will say it would be okay to do such a thing. Well, satirically, I might. See, I've got a lot of people in these other communities. I was their friend because I supported them. I supported my gay friends. I supported my lesbian friends. I also made fun of them. And they made fun of me. Maddie Boa kept calling me Breeder. What a strange name, huh? Alright, looks like my computer is doing this incredibly slow as possible. Just not sure. This is one I haven't gone to in a while. I did put some evidence there that hopefully we can find it. It's some of the stuff from the very beginning. I was trying to make a web page without having any money. As far as supporting me, you know, I'm not a very nice guy. When it comes to supporting me, I actually would recommend not doing so. What I recommend you do is use your brains, get an education, and then make decisions.
For those that are interested in hop baseball,
I've learned a lot from racists.
I've
learned a lot from religious folks.
And every Sunday the game starts at 12:05.
What I've learned is that if a Muslim is hungry, he's hungry. If a Christian is hungry, he's hungry. You notice how I assigned both of those to male gender assignments? So you're saying that we're needing to be inclusive, but who are you including? Is the LGBT community including the disabled, physically or mentally? No. Is the LGBT community supporting BLM? No. Is MMIW supporting either one of these two? No. I mean, Ben type, most of them are faking it. What my support gonna do? If you are LGBT, good for you, but leave me alone. We'll see. I understand that mentality. It's kind of the mentality that I have about hate mongers who hate the LGBT community. If you're gonna be a hate monger, go away. If you're gonna try to force it on me, go away. You can be gay. You can be gay and be my friend. But if you expect me to do certain things for you because you are in the LGBT community, And you are literally not willing to even try to do any of those things for me. If you want me to fight for your right to have a Pride Fest every year, and you want me to go to Pride with you, and you want me to enjoy the celebration, I will go enjoy the celebration. If I run into Wraith and him and some of his friends all surround me and make fun of me for being a breeder like they did last time, no, that's not a comfortable position for me, but I'll take it in stride and I'll take it in good fun, even though it's not nice. But I'm against those false narratives.
He was saying last week, he was saying that
It is not often that I sell you guys a false narrative, but when I do, I try to make it completely absurd. Kind of like when people want to say they hate these people or they hate those people. I pretend I hate Canadians, but I don't. The reason I say that is because it's completely absurd. People go, "What do you mean? Canadians are so nice." So you hate all Mexicans, but I don't get that. I don't. That don't make any sense. I'm not sure why there's so many racist guys that I knew that had a crush on Selma Hayek back in the 90s, but there were. Chapel, Nebraska, it's a lot like Tillamook, Oregon. Bunch of racists. Just a lot better weather in Nebraska. When it's cold, you get real cold. When it's hot, you get real hot. And it does not look like this is going to hook up for me.
I didn't see her for years on TV, but she was just on yesterday.
It's one thing to be who you are. It's another thing to go shove it in people's faces and then act like you've been victimized when people say, "Please stop shoving that in my face." If I walked up to you or anybody else walked up to you and pulled their shillelagh out their trousers and stuck it in your face, and you asked them kindly to leave you alone and to put it away, and they stepped closer, you have the right to bite it off. All right, that's not actually what I was going to say, but at the last moment I figured, you know what? Yeah. No, I don't think that if somebody sticks their Bible or their religion in your face that you should bite it off. When somebody does that, though, they're not respecting your boundaries. They're not respecting your rights as a person or a human being. They're not respecting you at all. They're treating you in an undignified fashion. Now, if you guys notice, I carry myself in an undignified fashion on the internet. In real life, I'll probably feed you if I run into you. Yesterday, I got to hear that same guy use the N-word 3 different times. I still wasn't mean to him. I told him I don't like that word. I think at one point I did say that I hate the N-word, so, you know, that might get me in trouble. But, you know, somebody got to say something. We don't change the stuff by looking the other way. Change hearts and change minds. Now, there's a lot of stuff that the older generations got that I completely understand. There's a lot of stuff that the younger folks got that I completely understand. I grew up right on the cusp. I was born in 1980, so and I know you guys who are younger aren't probably going to believe this, but we were actually allowed to play outside, and hope nobody hears me, without adult supervision. Yeah. Back in the 1980s, you see, you know, troops from 1 to 5 kids on their bikes, cruising down, going to the local watering hole. Back in the 1980s. Now, we were on the cusp there because the graphics Atari. And then everything just kind of formed up from there, didn't it? Should we force people to take part in the electronic revolution? No, there's lots of people that don't belong here. That's where I belong.
This uses points and
This thing's probably going to die soon. I believe in actual equality. That means that we don't all have to the way that I can put it. When she's allowed to change the rules and change her opinion, depending on whether it's you or her, she can do it and be a good Christian woman. If you do it, you're a horrible Christian, or you must be a Satan worshiper. That one's real popular right now. Man, we got the Christians coming at us hard. They are hate mongers everywhere that I've gone. That doesn't mean every Christian is a hate monger, but even Ronald Nordike. That's right, this great Christian on art t-shirt in Chapel, Nebraska. Even he has his ideas about things. Let me tell you about Kimberly Jo Jetson. I've told a few stories about her before, haven't I? Well, Kimberly Jetson, her favorite cartoon character used to be Mickey Mouse. Oh, and we got this pamphlet through the church. That's right, folks, I used to go to church. Don't tell God I showed up in his house, okay? I don't want to get charged with trespassing. But there was this pamphlet and this flyer there talking about how Disney is oppressing Christians and trying to force homosexuality on all of us. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. You are what you are. If there's a homosexual couple on TV, it's a story, okay? It's just a story. Whether that couple is gay in real life or not, or even a couple in real life or not, or anything of that nature, it's just a story. If they got stories of things behind closed doors, it's part of the story. It's not the same as forcing it on you. Being inclusive is not the same as forcing you. You know, between everybody in the NHL wearing a friggin' weird jersey, because they're expected to and will be pressured by society to do so, or face ridicule, it's mob law. That's why the law doesn't work. No matter what, it's mob law that's going to run things. Right now, it's very popular to be woke, which means that you believe that you should have special rights, you should have special treatment, that you should be allowed to beat people up, but they shouldn't be allowed to beat you up, that you should be allowed to be racist to people, but they're not allowed to be racist back to you. Oh yes, and you're going to get insulted by literally everything that they say, everything that they think, no matter what it is. Even if they're agreeing with you, if they happen to be of a different group. Like, of course, the whole women should be allowed to walk around without shirts on. I agree. Now, I used to have a old babysitter named Teresa Orm, terrible alcoholic, especially after her husband died. But she was talking to me about the laws in Boulder and about women being topless and about how she thinks it's legal or thinks it should be legal. I agreed. I said, I think it should be legal too. She said, that's just because you're a guy and you want to see. And this is where your minds go to. This is where your minds go. No, I think you should have equal rights. I don't care about your boobs. Okay, I don't. If they sag to the ground, they sag to the ground. There was a old lady in Boulder. She was out there gardening in just her panties. Very old lady. And it was legal. And there's a lot of people that get this idea. They hear that you can walk around without a shirt on in Boulder, so they think that Boulder is this topless paradise beach full of voluptuous 18-plus-year-olds, right? Like it's an advertisement in some sort of skin mag. And they get there and they realize that nobody's walking around without a shirt. They have the right to. They just don't. Now that old lady out there doing her gardening, well, when they see her, she's not the voluptuous 20-year-old or 21-year-old. Let's pretend like you're trying to be somewhat pure, and you'll only try to get her drunk if she's legal to get drunk. Oh, and if she's topless, yeah, you've got this idea in your head about, and this old lady wasn't out there topless for your gawking experience. I am absolutely certain that she didn't go out there for you to stare at her in a longing fashion. Nope. She's like, screw you, it's hot and I'm going to bear it. You could deal with it. Now, when it comes to the disabled, when it comes to men's rights, men's mental health in specific, yeah, we need to work on actual equality. Women get paid more per hour than men in the workforce. On average. On average, women work less hours than men. On average, men work 7 hours of overtime more per week than women do. Now, my question is, with all these guys who are only getting 20 hours a week, how is it that you get an average so high? That's a good question, too. As far as men's mental health, I can't force you guys to care. I can't force you guys not to be racist. I can't force you guys not to be sexist. But the least I can do is give you my experiences and show you the truth. Show you how it really is. That guy who was by my car yesterday, he's recorded being next to my car. The situation with Molly, those are recorded too. Now, when it comes to tolerance, you know what? I've noticed that tolerance very much is what brings people in and brings them together. So Ben Cookie Daniel, isn't that a strange moment? I have only typed the N-word once my entire life. Guess who I typed it to? Ben Cookie Daniel. And why did I do that? Because this guy was of the opinion that all racists should be beaten to death or killed. And then I pointed out that that is intolerant. That's the same thing that he's hateful about. So he wants to, Antifa, you know what that is, right? Yeah, Ben Cookie Daniels is one of many Antifa members that I know, and they hate Nazis. And you know what, having Hebrew ancestry, very much can understand that. I don't agree with it though. We don't have actual Nazis anymore, so there's really nothing to hate. There's nothing to be afraid of from actual Nazis. Now we got just the little wannabes. What I try to impress upon you all is that we need to have equal rights. I got to see this whole special rights crap sprout up in the late 80s and early 90s. Hardcore. Early 90s, they tried to make it legal for black men to murder whoever they wanted with this black rage. They even had doctors come forward and testify, well, when a black man reaches a certain age, he just can't control himself. You know, they tried that crap already prior to World War II here in the United States, now didn't they? Trying to insinuate that black people weren't able to think the same way as white people. They couldn't react as fast as white people. It turns out they were wrong all along. They should have been putting women in the cockpit because, well, women can tolerate more G-forces. That's right. Women can tolerate, on average, more G-forces. That doesn't mean every woman is going to withstand those G-forces. But also, we get to take these scientific studies. America is famous for these kind of scientific studies. We measured 40 black people's heads and 40 white people's heads and decided the white people are smarter. Really? By measuring their heads? Here's what they tried to base it on. It was assumed that black people with more ridge hair must be closer to apes or chimpanzees. No. We're one species. We're not interbreeding with other species here. If a black man and a white woman are dating, they're the same species. The exact same. So, you know, in the 90s, we had a lot of people that were complaining that, well, black people are stealing all these white women. You aren't stealing another person if they consent. If somebody wants to be with you, that should be all right. If you don't want to be with them, that should also be all right. If you want to play victim because you're on drugs, and the person who you're trying to play victim with gets as far away from you as possible, leave them alone. Why did Natalie Bollinger end up dead? Lots of people wanted to force her and force me. Wanted to lie to her and wanted to lie to me. Natalie definitely didn't need those kind of influences in her life when she was trying to sober up. But then again, yeah, her life was going to expire sooner rather than later. She was too high risk, too small, too stupid, too many drugs. There's lots of people that I love that I have to admit are complete and total idiots. But that doesn't stop me from loving them. When it comes to the NHL, I don't care what jerseys they wear because I don't care about football. You like what I did there? Sometimes I say, yeah, I'm going to take a nap. Wake me up when the Broncos win the World Series. I see these people's behaviors and I see the public's reaction. That's what I pay attention to. You know, whatever the news reports, that doesn't actually matter. You want to pay attention to what the American people are doing. That tells you where their hearts and their minds are at. That's why some of these companies are doing so well, despite the fact that they are run by people who would string up every homosexual in the country if they could, by complying with social demands before being coerced and forced to those social demands. Well, what do? They post that pink up on their brands. Yes, we support breast cancer awareness because it's popular. We support LGBT pride because it's popular. We support a lot of movements that we shouldn't. We support bowel movements like BLM. We support bowel movements like the KKK. Oh, support the KKK. Even those of you who claim that you're not racist. Even those of you, such as Ben Cookie Daniels, who hates them with a passion. Antifa, who say no member of Antifa has ever been charged with murder. Really? Really? Do you know every member of Antifa? I can tell you that brain damage is beating on people. Ben Cookie Daniel and me and him stopped being friends because he wanted to do what? Be a racist. Be a hate monger. You really think going out and starting a fight with the KKK or with neo-Nazis, you really think that's going to get you hearts and minds?
Did it say that he's been coaching like 60 years?
See, doing stuff like that, you can very easily take somebody who had a few bad experiences and is basing it all on that. Just a few bad experiences and some bad publicity on TV. Now, what do we need to do with this world? What do we need to do to make it a better world? Be inclusive, yes, but how so? How far so? And how much? Who is it that is a human and who is not? What are our established rules of what is and is not a human being? And what are our established rights of said human beings? And are they being followed for everybody? Oh, we can't follow them for everybody. We got to have special rights for people who are rich. Oh, those ones are observed. I'm trying to obviously maintain my composure. A lot of people, it does get me overwhelmed, but it doesn't kill me. That guy who won't put on a jersey for the NHL, look what they did to Colin Kaepernick. When you ask a question like, do they really force it? Well, yeah, they will. When it becomes a socially accepted norm, everybody will be pressured to do something like that. This is the United States of America. We only pretend that we don't have any socialism here. In reality, we have Nazi socialism here in America. Many of y'all may not understand this, but much of what Adolf Hitler liked to spat out of his stupid face came from people like Henry Ford. That's right, Henry Ford. They're designed for the slave labor camps. Those are based off of an American model called the Chain Gang. Their anti-Jewish laws were based off of America's anti-black laws. And then, of course, America, the 13th Amendment, the one that's supposed to make slaves free, the one that black folks are supposed to celebrate. How many black folks even care that the 13th Amendment is there? Probably not very many. I mean, they care that the amendment is there that's supposed to make them free, but I've known enough black people who've ended up in jail and had their rights railroaded or been forced to do manual labor. Sure, they're not being whipped to do that manual labor, but you don't have to be guilty. In order to be found guilty in the United States, you need one thing. If you were a real man, you would have them. You know, if you were a real man, you would have this. If you were a real man, you would have that. You know, when I reached out to people, I let them know exactly who I was. To beg haters to stop because the police won't listen to you. It really shows that here in the United States, you should probably go solo. You should probably, if you're a male, avoid women altogether. Save up your money, buy yourself a house, and be safe. It's not that easy anymore, though, is it? You guys got all these ideas. They're all cut and dry in your head. They're not so cut and dry, are they?
What? I heard they were concerned that she was
How many times I've been beaten up for being gay, and I've never been gay. Imagine that. This is the bestest thing ever. I'll show you. That's what it is. Alright, so I'm gonna go get me some breakfast. There are things that you morally should be able to come to on your own. Like, how about instead of hating homosexuals and pretending like they're trying to turn your son in gay or your daughter into a gay? Oh my God, they're the gays. Oh my God, we have to be afraid of the gays. Well, no, we don't. We have to be afraid of predators. Unless it's a legal justice system, we got a lot of options as far as that goes. But once you get to the legal justice system, you're kind of screwed in the fact that, well, you don't get to record it. So they get to sell whatever they want. If they decide that you're too broke for certain rights, but the next guy isn't, they decide that they're going to let him go based on a technicality, have any money or any real friends. A lot of people that didn't come forward at the very beginning wanted to be angry that I came forward for them with their words. Then they wanted to play victim, like I was a horrible person for showing them what crappy people they were. On the bright side, I'm capable of being a crappy person myself, just not to the same level. Although I did say some pretty mean things to a lady who had both of her sons shot. That was interesting. On a scale of 1 to 10, how perfect was my timing for being a jerk? Oh, it was a 9 out of a 10. Her second son, who had been shot, had been in the ground less than 3 days, so that's pretty fresh. The only way to hit it right on the nail perfectly would be if I had called her literally right after the police called her to tell her that her son had been shot to death. Did I know her son had been shot to death? Well, yeah, but no. I mean, I got so many of these friggin' web nuts that wanted to pretend like they was gonna be my friend. Really, all they were interested in was messing with me. Friends wanted to tell me what to do. That was cute. Sean, you shouldn't invite all those people on there. I didn't invite them. They sent me friend requests. And if you were a friend, it wouldn't have gotten this far. I only tried to depend on internet wingnuts because I knew all of my friends were friggin' liars, BSers, and lazy drug dealers. Yes, I knew that Kayla Trujillo was a drug dealer. Yes, I knew Kayla Manning was a drug dealer. Yes, I knew that her husband was a drug dealer. I knew that Eric was a drug dealer. I knew that Brenda Dickinson was a drug dealer. I knew that Ken and Leah were drug dealers. It's the United States of America. We got 60-year-old meth addicts in this country who are still going at it. I'm stuck with you people. If you're not on booze, then you're on smack, you're on heroin, you're on meth, or you're on pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are pretty nasty. It's cleaner than that stuff you get on the streets, or at least it's supposed to be. But folks putting fentanyl and everything, I just gotta say no go. This is a long video, mostly because I didn't sleep last night and I'm trying to keep myself conscious. Being heavily annoyed does assist in that, but also obviously I'm having problems functioning. I'm having problems keeping my sentences together. I guess the best way to explain it is like this. You can have whatever religion you want. I don't actually care. I care about how you treat others. So, I am against forcing people to support something. But I'm not against forcing people to back it up. You don't have to support somebody who is a homosexual. However, you do have to support their rights as a human being. You don't have to support the beliefs of a Christian, but you do need to respect their rights as a human being. Oh, yeah, I was talking on my phone. No, I didn't. I was waiting on somebody to show up, but I figured I didn't want to be the Rudy Tooty Depression Food Breakfast from the McDonald's. I want I guess I'll try to get 2 sausage burritos and keep this stuff on the party.
Hot or mild sauce?
Hot.
Hot sauce. That's my style.
Oh my god!
All right, $3.99. Right?
A lot of people are scared of having their picture took. So when I'm recording, I try not to point it at people so they don't get butthurt. But I also got to record stuff because I'm different. I'm stuck in public and people hate different.
Yeah, they do. Perfect,
Oh
sir.
my god, you keep this well. Thank you.
Have a good day.
I suppose I could start myself a conversation about, I guess, on 762. 72 rounds. 223 rounds. Blackadder and Corbin. Beautiful thing to learn. But for me, I didn't go learning those things so that I could use them to hurt people. Things that would make my life better. Why are you hating men? Why are you blaming men? Is every man out there some horrible monster who did this to you? My predators have names. If you go through my videos, you can find a lot of them that are women. Where it seems as if I'm possibly some sort of sexist POS. No, I just pay attention to what works and what's heard. You guys are hateful creatures, spawned of hateful creatures, who are taught to be hateful creatures and taught you to be hateful creatures. I don't hate what my granddaddy hated. My mom hates Mexicans. My dad hates blacks. Meanwhile, I don't hate either. I don't hate Mexicans. I don't hate blacks. And I'm not going to tell you my opinion on my parents because, well, I already know I'm going to hell for thinking. One of the things I wanted to achieve in life that really I don't care if I get it or not. I always wanted to outlive my mom. She's such a not good person. I thought to myself, you know, maybe the world will become a better place when she's dead. Screw it, it don't matter, does it?
Did you use that?
I got to tell you, I really don't care about gay rights. Well, my friends, gay and straight, on the streets, are the real statistics. The real most marginalized people in the country. We've even got racial division there, though. While everybody in America knows the homeless are the most likely to get killed by cops. Per capita. For their population size, you are more likely to get killed as a homeless person than anyone else. Just as a homeless male, you have a 1 in 960 chance of getting killed by a police officer this year.
I've been up.
And you wonder why it's so hard to find the statistics on the homeless. Well, because everybody buries it. Black people matter. Women matter. Rich people matter. Johnny Depp. Yep. He can beat on his wife, chop off his own finger, keep a jar of cocaine on his table, and Disney will take him back. He gets to hold the moral upper hand by turning him down. That's what you care about.
Nobody broke in a couple weeks.
Oh, really? You run a good story.
Was it green?
Came out green. I'll let you know. Yeah.
I don't have a surgery.
You won't be good here.
I did have an anesthesiologist.
Well, yeah.
No, I got
Obviously, when I make a lot of these videos, it's just to ramble.
You want to take this away?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
I don't think Monday's gonna go. I'm not going for it. No matter what.
Trying to waste time and keep myself from going nuts. Obviously, I'm not a well-liked guy in Chapel, Nebraska.
My wife told my oldest son yesterday, why am I going along?
Now, there's something that I do want to push on y'all. Just because you are not required, in my opinion, to support somebody's political beliefs or their special rights as Nazis or homosexuals or women. No, I absolutely don't think that you should be forced to comply with any of that. You shouldn't be forced to be sexist. You shouldn't be forced to be racist. Not even if the U.S. government says that you have to be racist. Special rights are racist. They're prejudiced. They're also, as you've gotten to see with the disability laws were created because of bias. Because taking advantage of disabled people is so easy. Especially if you can call them mentally ill. Do you have any idea how many rapists got away in the 1980s and earlier? Because they didn't have cameras that were small enough to record it that the average American could afford. Wasn't until the mid to late 90s we got that. That's when we really started to bust people, didn't we? And that's when they started trying to make laws that you couldn't record in hospitals or nursing homes. It's for the patient's safety. No, it's because we caught 11 people raping old folks in old folks' homes in a single year. And you guys remember that, the Kodak camera that came out, the little one, like, it was probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 inches long, I suppose, probably 5 inches wide and 6 inches tall. I mean, it was still a big horking box, but everything in it was self-contained. You didn't have to wind it like you did back in the day or anything like that.
Go by this contract. You see the sweat come out of the fourth. Go by the contract. So now we need to make sure that somebody else takes one shot of it. That's not
We don't, I mean, we don't change the lights so there's like at least 5 or 6 thousand beings we don't have time to do. But we do, like in service days, we go around and do all the lights, or, get down all of us get down, some of us get down to the end of the hall, and I have that other end, we stood and have us beat us, and we just beat each other with it. But we can go that many lights anyway, so like Ray would never order that many to.
They have an office. My wife.
I brought samples of that.
Get away from it.
So let me tell you about Kim Jepson, the nurse. When I was younger, she was in love with Mickey Mouse, basically. That was her favorite cartoon character. Then they had this thing at the church saying that Disney was trying to turn everybody homosexual and boycott Disney. And then she didn't like Mickey Mouse anymore. Matter of fact, she's made several comments about hating Mickey Mouse. What does all that come from? It comes from a hatred of homosexuality that was harbored in that church right there in Chapel, Nebraska. Gross.
And I told Mike, I said, the library's a mess. The next day we go in there and clean a certain time. And he comes in at like 7:30.
I'll give out my apologies when I'm done committing my crimes. But you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to stop committing crimes. Because apparently anything that I do must be a crime just because it's me. It's apparently a crime to turn in assaults against me. It's apparently a crime to turn in assaults against children. It's apparently a crime to turn in threats against my life or threats against my family's life. It's not that I didn't try. Got plenty of recordings that show that I tried, but I actually went in and made an effort. Of course, it didn't matter without a friend or family member going in with me who actually cared. And then, of course, I'm stuck in Tillamook, surrounded by about the worst, stinkiest, nastiest. One thing I learned when every soldier is a coward. Every single one. If they weren't, they'd go out, they'd get a real job, and they'd earn a living. I don't like soldiers at all. But I know lots of veterans who ended up on the streets and fought for our rights. I can be thankful for those veterans. If you're only willing to fight for rights for a specific group or a specific color, you don't deserve your rights. If you fight only for black people's rights or only for women's rights, you do not deserve your rights. When you can see your neighbor who is a different gender than you as a human being, or your neighbor who's a different color than you as a human being, or your neighbor who's a different religion than you as a human being, I don't care about any of those things from you. I don't want to keep it. No, I don't want it around me. I don't want that hatred around me. But the other thing is, if you bring it around me over and over and over again, I'm not just going to sit quietly.
It's his fault. They let the kids do everything they want to. They come in and buy chickens. They owe go to fire. They owe go and bring it in for everybody. They got cakes and everything.
Look, we got a newcomer.
If we're loud enough, you might learn something. You'll listen.
My learning curve.
Is that right?
We need to learning curve. What do we need?
Because you don't care. That's the problem.
Alright, I was tired earlier. Got myself a second wind, and now I am retired. My computer is sucking.
Yeah.
Pretty good. You get it?
One of the biggest things that I've heard at heterosexuals in this whole LGBT thing is, go ahead and be gay. Just stop shoving it in my face. Go ahead and be Christian. Just stop shoving it in my face. You want to be a Jehovah's Witness? Fine, be a Jehovah's Witness. But stop coming over to my fucking house. You're a Mormon? Fine, be a Mormon. But when I tell you, do not fucking knock on my goddamn door again, and I'm using the words goddamn, you should probably listen to me and understand that I see you as a person. I'm not going to listen to you talk about your penis, or have you convinced me that I need to accept your penis as my Lord and Savior, or your vagina is my Lord and Savior, whichever the case may be. I do not owe it to you to join state-sanctioned homosexuality or support any sort of, obviously, entertainment. See, now this right here, though, the entertainment, the bread and circuses. This is what brings it to your forefront. Those of you racist white men who watch the NFL and see those things, you still want to watch the NFL, but you also bitch through half the fucking game, which is great for us. That's how we can tell you're a racist asshole. Not always, right? Sometimes you're just fucking sick of that shit. Like, hey, yeah, we live in a fucked up world. Could we have some positivity on fucking TV? Could we have some actual history on TV? Why do we have basketball wives? Why? My God, that dumbs Americans down every episode. Our ice road truckers. Yeah, that's history for sure. Damn. All right, so I sat on my other tobacco pipe last night, and the only thing that I had was this brown cow yogurt. So took the lid off of it, and I rolled it into this thing here. This actually might have come off my cottage cheese, I don't know. But the problem is that it doesn't seal up real good, and then it doesn't smoke real good. Anyway, Kim is probably my oldest friend, or longest lasting friendship, I should say. It ended. It's over. You know why it's over? Because I let her and her mom both know, actually. I let her know that the way that she treated me pushes people to suicide, but that I would send her some information so that she wouldn't do it again to others, and she could actually distribute that information and get people educated. Nope. Alright. I did not choke to death that time. Alright, let's see if we can make this work somehow. The thing is, your sexual preference does not belong in public any more than your God does. If you're going to teach that racist bullshit in the privacy of your church, that's one thing. But once you start practicing it within my community, that's when we have a problem. Yes, I hate racism, but I also try to be diplomatic. When there's no other option left, let hellfire rain. Right?